Hi there, this is Katrine Kogan, shapeshifting as Katie from the Pleiades. And today, in honor of the full moon in Sagittarius, I wanted to share some kind of top down wisdom that has been coming up over and over again in my one on one sessions and that has been really useful and supportive to those I've shared it with. And it's about the nature of time of the year we call 2025. And in this year, we have a year composed of endings and beginnings without that much just getting on with it in between. But before I go into more detail, I wanted to share that this is a shorter cut of a longer video that's going to be posted on my brand new YouTube channel, and I'd love to welcome you to view this video in all its long form glory over on my YouTube channel, where I will be sharing more of this longer form content. So, 2025, it's called a crossover year, which means that our slow moving outer planets, including Neptune and Uranus, as well as our faster moving outer planets, Jupiter and Saturn, are all crossing over into new zodiac signs. And as they slowly cross the cusp of new zodiac signs, they bring with it this closing out energy of the previous sign and the new beginning energy of the sign that they're moving into. And this is particularly dramatic because Saturn and Neptune are moving from Pisces into Aries, which are the final and the first sign of the zodiac, which really reflects the new chapter and the big full stop ending that we're experiencing on a collective and personal level through the year of 2025. Now, when I speak to people about their lived sense and how they're doing in this current moment, what's become apparent is that really in the first 5.5 months or so of 2025, up until about mid-May, late May, lots of people have felt like a big fluctuation in energy. So you may have this imaginative sense of feeling like, oh, I'd love to create this, but your reservoir of energy just hasn't been there. And also I've observed that lots of people have been experiencing very profound death, either of loved ones or of pets. And of course, death is not predictable in many cases, and lots of people have been placing their energy and focus in nurturing themselves and their families and their close ones after such an experience. With these experiences, there's very much a chapter end in a tangible way, and that is the working of Saturn, because Saturn deals with the physical world and the crystallization of our efforts over long-term investments in the physical world, but also on more subtle levels, including that of our energy body and our etheric body. We've been undergoing this death and rebirth energy as well, and that's Neptune moving from Pisces into Aries. But right now, we have an amazing opportunity to feel this forward momentum, this steady stream of feeling future focused and having this current of energy flowing behind us as we take our steps into our new beginning, collective and personally. And our physical selves are also feeling vital and up for the journey. And this is because both Saturn and Neptune are moving direct in Aries for the next few weeks. This is the energy to do. Perhaps you find that you're able to work a little bit harder, that dream that you had that you've been stewing in your cauldron of intention for the last few months, that you actually have some life force to give it. And I've also observed that lots of people are considering geographic relocations at this time too. Now, this is all very natural to the time, and it's good to feel enthusiastic about these new beginnings. But I also just want to point out that on a society level, culturally, we're really conditioned to embrace these new beginnings. We're really comfortable with them, and we always welcome their arrival. But I also want to not discourage us from feeling this, but more my intention is to introduce some neutrality into the mix, because the tide will turn, as we find that we are so excited to celebrate someone's new job. We're also a lot more uncomfortable when someone tells us that they're feeling unsatisfied in their work and could find, more purposeful or seeking their next steps. We're more likely to suggest what they do next rather than just sit with that realization. So until about mid-July, when Saturn and Neptune go into retrograde, the energy will still be future focused, but by this point, mid-July, we're going to start having a little bit more introspection with that future focus. Up until that point, it's going to be very much hair speed, future focused, forward flow, but then we're going to start feeling a difference. And maybe even questioning, are these new decisions, are these new directions right for me? There's an amazing opportunity of a fresh start. We don't have to make all the decisions right away. We can release ourselves from full commitment through this period. And then around the start of September, we're going to be feeling more directly that there is perhaps a need to revisit previous endings, perhaps part of ourselves that we thought we had let go, perhaps realizing that in order to fully step forward into the future, we need to purge a few elements from our past to truly step forward. This is the power of the purge, the gift of closure. We don't always get closure, but at least by attempting to create the conditions where it may arise, we can open ourselves up to freedom and healing in ways that we truly didn't think were possible. So, as always, I would love to hear if this feels relevant to you, and you can get in touch either through my direct messages or you can drop a comment below. I'd love to read about if this resonates with you. And yeah, now that we have a little foundation, I'm excited to share more current movements in astrology, including Jupiter moving into Cancer, which is going to be a really exciting time for the expansion of our emotional emotional body and our felt sense. And I'm looking forward to covering some ground with you astrologically going forward. Thank you so much for your time and attention as always. Sending you all my best on the ether.